Okay, good morning, everybody. At least it's morning here where I am. Today's actually President's Day. Fun fact. But this is week 8. Yeah, week 8. Think about it. This is week 8 of our habit changing course. And I'm really excited for this point. Like, we are getting to the home stretch. Curious on how it went last week for you guys with the food journaling. To be perfectly transparent, I did it one day. And if that was you guys, welcome to the club. So it's, this is somebody said fitness is it's a race with no ending, or a journey with, whatever. Point being, this is not something that we change overnight. And have grace with yourself if you're like, like me, I did it one day and I meant to do it, but I didn't have it with me, and so I ended up not doing it. And, on the one day, I did notice I really just didn't want to write food down, and I did not eat well. I'm just going to be transparent there. And I thought that was really interesting how I didn't really get into it. But, it's have some grace with yourself wherever you were. I'm curious to see if you guys had some success with that or had some challenges with that, how the food journaling went, what you decided to use, if you're using an app, if you're using paper and pencil, whatever. And also, excuse me, it's really windy. Also, this is one of those that it really, if you're not into it, it really takes a while to get into it. So this is one that's going to take probably a couple of weeks to get in the habit and find your groove and your rhythm. And it's nothing that you need to do forever. So just FYI on that. And also, what I like about this one, this is the Ultimate Backlog. What I like about this is it gives you options. Again, what are my 2 goals today? And I found that when I said yesterday I was going to chart things, and I didn't, but I thought, okay, I'm going to do water and I'm going to do vegetables. No. And then I want to add protein. No, what it is that I want to make sure that I plan my meals ahead of it. It just blah, 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 right? Pick 2, right? Because it's so easy to get overwhelmed. And that's why I have left this week's challenge to close to the end, because you'll notice this week is about doing some form of exercise every day. And there are a whole lot of things in the group this week, so I challenge you to really take the time to listen to them. We have 2 different podcast episodes. Don't Work Out to Be Healthy is one of them, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but Don't Work Out to Be Healthy, and Healthy Habits Part 2 is exercise. So those 2 things I would challenge you to listen to, because they might change your thoughts on exercise. Because so many times we think, I have to get in a workout. Okay. Maybe you don't have an hour. Maybe you don't have a gym. Maybe you hate lifting weights. Maybe traditional cardio, just you can't stand. Maybe there are all these things that are getting in your way, right? Because you think that the only things that count are traditional cardio or traditional exercise. No. All exercise counts. I don't care if it's 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes that day that you made the choice to do some sort of movement that ordinarily you wouldn't have. And that 10 minutes a day adds up to 70 minutes in a week that you did that you ordinarily wouldn't have done. I mean, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, right? And it can be anything. It can be, so I have this 3-month workout called the COVID Comeback Challenge. And part of, I don't do a lot of traditional cardio in it. The first person who did it had sandbags. So we incorporated sandbags into it. Like, go throw it this way and run and do some whatever things. Because she was training for a military APFT, right? So we had to incorporate that in there. But she said that she had some videos, and I'm like, okay, so cardio today, put on your favorite dance video and dance in your living room for 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a long time, so if you don't make it, that's fine. But that's what today's challenge is this week. Just commit to some sort of exercise every day. I don't care what it is. Write down in the comments, if you're watching this on Facebook, I want you to write in the comments, what is your form of exercise? Yesterday, I went on a walk, and that's about all I can do right now. Hopefully, I get the clear to get back in the gym and start lifting. I'm desperate. Oh my gosh. I was able to put a band around my knees yesterday for the first time and do some glute abductions. Yeah, abductions. I always get them confused. Oh, it just felt so amazing to do a little bit of challenge for my muscles, and I cannot wait to do some rows. And I say pick up heavy things. Heck, pick up anything right now. These broken bones are driving me nuts. So I'm really excited to do that. But in the meantime, walking is about all I can do because I can't push on a bike, and also my bike is bent from the accident. I'm going bike shopping. I'm going bike shopping. Irony. We'll get to that in a second. But it's easy to not go for a walk because walks are like my least favorite thing. I feel slow. That's why I like to bike. I feel slow and they take forever and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Sitting around is worse. And so I also feel like I'm not really sweating and I'm not getting in a proper workout. But I have to remind myself this is what you can do right now. And it's either that or you sit and eat and get fat. And that's also not an option. That's also been happening. Right? So, but yeah, having grace with yourself, write down what your little bit of exercise is going to be this week. There are lots of things in the guides. I would love for you to make sure that you go listen to them, take some time, listen to them, read them. But here's today's article. So tip 9, commit to doing some exercise every day. So how successful were you at writing things down last week? Did you do it every day? Most days? What were your results, your reactions? Were you surprised by how much, how little, or the reality of what you were eating? I mean, even if you did it that one day, was there some surprise? If you remember, the goal of last week was not to judge what you ate, simply to make note of it. Now that you have a record of the truth, you have a choice to stop living in denial about how much and what you are putting in your body and actually change it, or to keep running around on the hamster wheel of denial, blame, and quick fixes. Ooh, burn, right? But it's true. It's true. It's very hard to argue with truth when you see it on paper. Brutal? Yes, but sometimes the truth is brutal. That's why you were on a hamster wheel in the first place and not getting the results before, isn't it? The answer is yes, if you're actually truthful with yourself. True story. If you've noticed, I haven't mentioned exercise at all, and isn't that one of the first things people jump into when they say, I'm going to get in shape? Yep, and one of the first things to go, because most people will start out with a mentality that more is better and do too much. Then they don't see results quickly enough or instantaneously. They get discouraged because the amount of work they are putting into should yield instant results and quit. So by now, you know what I'm going to suggest is neither instantaneous nor hardcore nor extreme, just like everything else. It's simple, easy to do, easy not to do. The choice is up to you. Do some sort of exercise every day, or most days. Getting in shape does not have to mean running 5 miles every day, joining a CrossFit gym, doing P90X or Insanity for 30 days straight, doing every weight machine in the gym 100 times every day. There's no extreme here. There is nothing wrong with the above workouts. If you like doing those, great. But the catch is this. Do not start the above workouts just to lose weight. You will fail. What I did say is do some sort of exercise every day, or at least most days. So what does that mean? It means do something you enjoy. Make it consistent. Get your heart rate up. That's it. The point here is consistency, and it doesn't matter what you do. Let's address these 3 aspects in short detail. So, number 1, do something you enjoy, and if you hate lifting weights, don't. If you hate running, don't. If you hate yoga, don't. The point is not to do a workout because some trainer told you to, or some person on the TV, the internet, doctor's waiting room, buddy of your best friend's gym owner told you to. Do what makes you happy. Some examples of good fitness that make people happy that they enjoy. Going for a 20-minute walk around the neighborhood or through a park or a mall. Playing disc golf or ultimate frisbee. Cleaning the house. I don't understand this one, but some people enjoy it, so whatever. You guys ever decided that you're just going to rearrange your closet? Yeah, go break out a sweat, seriously. Yoga, hill sprints, Tabatas, body weight circuits, lifting weights, bike riding, swimming, running, Nordic walking, rollerblading. We could go on and on and on. Any of these are great. If you enjoy it, That's the key, because you will not stick with an exercise routine you hate, so do something you enjoy. And I'm going to reference this book, and if you have not gotten it, I highly recommend listening to it. I listened to it on audio, but then I went ahead and got the book because there's so many good things in it. It's called The Slight Edge, Turning Simple Disciplines into Massive Success. And it also goes along with this book, which we'll get into in a second. So you want to make it consistent. I cannot stress this enough. It's not the exercise that you do, it's that you do it regularly that counts. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Not really. It's steady that wins the race. I've heard this a lot, but it really hit home when I read this book, The Slight Edge. This book has really opened my eyes to how to achieve what I really want in life. It comes down to consistency, doing the little, seemingly tiny, insignificant things every day that are, easy to do, but also easy not to do. Pardon me. Jim Collins talks about it in his book, Good to Great, about pushing the giant flywheel. It weighs so much, there's no way possible for you to give it one giant push and to have it turn. No, it's steady effort that builds momentum. I'll say that again. It's steady effort that builds momentum. And overnight success does not happen overnight. It happened over the course of years of obscurity, doing the tiny right actions every day. This is the success curve. And if you're looking, let's see if I can find it here. If you are looking at the blog post, you'll see it right here, and it's also in the group. Let me grab it. It makes so much more sense when you see it. So the success, where is it? Success curve. Easy to do, easy not to do is the very important thing. So that's part of it. Hold on. If you guys have read this book, leave a comment. What was your favorite part of the book that made all the sense to you? There's part of it, part of it, part of it. There it is. Here's the whole thing. Right? Here's the whole thing. Whoops, wrong way. There we go. So 5% success, 95% failure, easy to do, easy not to do. Take a screenshot of that if you want. Sorry, it's all backwards. There we go. So if you're looking at the success curve, take a close look at it and see if you can understand why consistency is key. Then make a plan for what tiny action you can do every day to help you reach your goal. You want to run a marathon but never done it before? It starts with taking a few steps every day, going for a walk every day, building your time. It doesn't start with a 5-mile run. Number 3 is to get your heart rate up. So the key to exercise is elevating your heart rate. So do you see the people in the treadmill sauntering along in the gym, right? It's not different that the pace they take to walk to their car, walk around Walmart, or take up an entire aisle in the mall, right? I secretly want to smack those people in the back of the head. I've always moved with a sense of purpose, and being in the Army just amplified that urge. Sorry, not sorry. Get out of the way. Slower moving traffic to the right. So anyway, the point of exercise is to elevate your heart rate. This accomplishes all kinds of things, including better respiratory response, increased oxygen flow to your lungs, brain, blood, etc., better joint mobility, etc. If you do not elevate your heart rate, you aren't exercising. Don't kid yourself. That's harsh, right? But it's true. If you're just moving, if you're just sauntering and you're not really, it's not exercise. It's movement, but it's not exercise. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go all extreme and elevate it through the roof. I just said elevate. Anything above what it is when you're sitting there doing nothing, which is called your resting heart rate, is elevated. Excuse me. Now, eventually, you'll want to put more effort out there because your body adapts. It adapts to stress, to exercise, and everything else. So what is challenging for you now will not be challenging later if you are consistent. That's why you ladies lifting only 5-pound weights in the gym bother me. Sorry. It worked for you then, and then your body adapted, and it's no longer a challenge. You're wasting time at that point. Sorry to get on a soapbox, but as a personal trainer, this is the area that frustrates me the most. If you like extreme, great. Do that, but please work up to it or face injury. If you don't like extreme, great. Do something. Okay, so this week's goal. Excuse me, allergies. So this week's goal. The challenge this week is that while you're building on the blocks of consistency you've achieved in your eating habits, you will also add one very small addition of consistent exercise. Whatever it is, commit to doing it every day or almost every day. That's the caveat. If you're lifting weights or doing anything strenuous, don't do it 7 days a week. Your body won't recover. If you're just going for a walk, that's fine for every day. Do some sort of exercise you enjoy every day. If your exercise is strenuous, like CrossFit, weightlifting, etc., do something on your off days that at least keeps you moving. We're not trying to set records here. All you are doing is building consistency in your exercise habits and getting used to moving every day. Progressions come later. So, the slight edge. Simple disciplines repeated over time will create success, while simple mistakes repeated over time will create failure. So, if you haven't read the other tips, I definitely recommend going to do that. There's the other things in the group here. We've got, let's see what we've got. So we've got this book. I mentioned this again. There's the link to it. You can get it on Amazon. And there's another book that we reference, and it's called How the Simple Science of Motivation Can Bring You a Lifetime of Fitness. It's called No Sweat. And it's really interesting. So if this book, The Power of Habit, really intrigued you, it goes perfectly with this one. It's like take this and put it with exercise. It makes so much sense. It's really interesting. If that's not your jam, don't worry about it. But we've got some things. So the podcast episode, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put a link up. Healthy Habits Part 3, Don't Work Out to Be Healthy. So we get into topics in this one about this book, the wrong whys. Your motivation or lack is tied to your meaning. So we've got the cycle of failure. You make exercise a gift instead of a chore. And that kind of goes along with this whole habit changing thing, right? So this is not about judgment, it's about curiosity. So when you make exercise a gift you give yourself, then it's more exciting than it's something you have to do. And then becoming aware of how your body wants to move instead of how you think it should move. And there are a whole bunch of other aspects of motivation. So would love your input on this when you go watch it. There's a link to it in the group. We'll add it here in YouTube. We've got some show notes and some bonuses about episode 11, Healthy Habits Part 1, Nutrition. That might be interesting for you as well. And we've got a link to that, to the blog post on my website. And then one more, Tuned and Strong podcast, Healthy Habits Part 2, which is exercise. And that's all about this one. So, I mean, it really gets into it. Last thing to remember here, exercise, it all counts. Okay, so just like everything else, it's simple. Like I've said before, it's easy to do, but it's easy not to do. The choice is up to you. So make it as simple as possible. Pick a goal, find a plan, hire a coach, or just commit to doing some sort of movement exercise every day. I highly recommend a coach though, because it's easy to overdo. You ever been injured by those YouTube workouts? Yeah, I had a client who ended up with patellar tendonitis and shoulder tendonitis because he started doing YouTube workouts. Yeah, a year later, and he lost a bunch of muscle in his quads. You don't want to get to that point. And that's not a plug for my services necessarily, but if you think about it, we're so busy with everything else, right? Sometimes just hiring someone to do the thinking for you is what really a blessing, because they look at you, they see what you need, and you just do the plan, and you're in somebody else's hands. Like, when you get into a doctor's care, you just trust the plan, right? And heck, if Olympic athletes have coaches, why don't we? We think, oh, I don't need that. I'm looking for a trainer for myself because I just don't want to think and plan and whatever. But there's lots of plans you can get. So whether it's a couch to 5K, whether it's a weightlifting workout, maybe it's a mobility plan, maybe it's one of mine, maybe not. That's totally fine. But write in the comments, if you're watching this here on YouTube, write in the comments, what's the thing you're going to do, right? Really curious to see how that goes for you. And again, I've got the link to these books. Hope you enjoy them. They're also on audiobooks. So yeah, let's do this, guys. We got 1 week left. Oh, next week I will be at Mardi Gras. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this on Monday or not. We'll see. But thank you guys for joining me, and looking forward to your comments in the group. Have a great day.